Yeah. So just how come you didn't get the You should got the other shirt while you
Sure,
was down
like
there.
we did when you down there.
I
What
got.
I got, man. This is what I'm rolling with.
It's fine as long as Oakwood is on there.
That's right.
Is
As
what we
long
do.
as it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know who we represent. That's all.
it's true. Still proud of it. Still going
Still
with it.
proud of. That's our school.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So I got to tell y'all where I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm at the. I'm in the lobby.
He's breaking up, but I think he said he's in the lobby.
He's in the lobby. Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's in the
Yeah.
lobby. I think he's at Oakwood.
No, I know he's at Oakwood because he posted some pictures. So he
I
may
saw
be a
him.
Mosley complex because he ran into.
I saw it with Dr. Jones.
Right. So he may be over there. So most likely what's happening is that the Aeolians and TA is practicing over
Well,
there.
I know that TA is down there. So
Right. But both of them are singing there tomorrow.
at where?
Oakwood University Church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be listening to that.
Okay, so you guys can't hear me.
No. You're going in and out. We're going in and out.
Okay.
Hey Owen, good afternoon.
What's
Claudette, good
up?
afternoon.
Yep, I see him, and also Moses. Gee, let's start up real quick. Let's start. Let's go.
Let's do this. Okay, cool.
Everybody share. Everybody share.
Yeah, last week we shared over 99 times. So
Yeah, that was pretty good.
let's do that.
Pretty good.
You know, yeah. So we want to thank everybody for sharing and commenting. That counts too. And on the YouTube side, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Right.
Yeah, our base is growing. We want to
Yeah.
thank everybody for that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I says Claudette Higgins. How you doing, Claudette? How are you doing?
Hugh Smith, my boy.
Yeah, this is the bodyguard. It's the
Yeah,
bodyguard.
that's right there, right
It's
there.
the bodyguard. Wait a minute. Did we got a name change here?
No, that's his name for us. Jeez, you know that's
Nah. It's James Peterson. You remember he always has the other name, but this is on YouTube, I guess.
right. He's on the other side, right?
Right, he's on the other side.
Got Linda. Hey, Linda, what's going on, girl?
Yeah, I see Linda. Linda Porter.
Yeah, wonderful gospel artist, great teacher.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And this is my man Harold Chandler. Don't worry about Harold. We're gonna make this cheddar, okay? Before the year is out, we're gonna make this cheddar.
I meant to hook up with him because he reached out to me on LinkedIn. So
Yeah, that's my dude.
I
My
want
dude.
to reach out to him. Good looking
That's
at
my dude.
Yvette Harris Hodges, St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know,
St. Louis.
I'm a big St. Louis Cardinals fan. That's my 1985 Cardinals. They beat my Mets.
Yep.
So after the Mets, I like the Cardinals because they had Willie McGee, Vince Coleman, Tommy Herr.
Yep.
They had the fastest outfield. So we're big on that. We love the Cardinals. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, James was telling us just now that he's YouTubing today. That's why he's on there like that.
We'll take that. Yeah.
And Carolyn, they're normally down on the other side of Florida, but they're up on the northeast side.
Yeah. Big. Her husband is Fritz. Big shout out to Fritz, Carolyn,
Yep.
and what's going on down there. Yeah. Yvette Harris Hodges, Pat. You know her?
Mm-hmm.
Yvette Harris Hodges.
That's the one from St. Louis
That's
we
one from
just talked
St.
about.
Louis.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You see what Owen.
Owen started already, man. OB started already. Yeah.
Gee, you remember that day when you asked me what's my pick? Remember?
I remember.
All right.
I remember.
I was telling everybody that's my pick. That's my pick.
All right.
So
Here's my guy right here, P. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Jimmy Gibson. So Gibbs is going to be my first guest on Mental Health Manna at 7 tomorrow. And we want to wish him good luck going down to Louisiana. So we're supposed to hook up sometime next week. So big shout out to Gibson, my baseball twin.
Yeah, we say blessings. We don't say luck. I'm just straightening you out for right now. We don't do that. Luck.
My fault. My fault.
I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
letting you know. So that's our boy Jimmy.
Yeah.
And then G, I know people see that I'm running it on the bottom. You see that Graham Snacks on the bottom.
Yeah.
I see that. Just telling everybody that when we do our scholarships and all of that, we just decided we're just going to push ahead and get our Graham Snacks Cash App. And there's a whole lot of people who are like, "Hey, I'd like to support this thing."
Yeah. We like the shirts that we wear. People literally send us money and funds to either put into scholarships or to say, "I'd like you to wear this." So it's a different lifestyle in a way.
Yeah, no, I'm just laughing because Jimmy's like, "Yo, Pat, leave my man alone," because I talked to you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
you. So let's be a little transparent. We all finally got the bank account this week.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't sobering, but I think it was enlightening that after a year, little by little, Snacks is growing, and we all decided at the same time to go there. So
the other part of all of this is that it does some of these things that we do come out of our pocket, and so
right.
We want to be able to, and then to be able to get guests on.
Right. Exactly.
And we had that talk in the car when we were driving down there. I think sometimes we just need to be supported by our fans and those who follow us, and we don't need $1 million, but you know how our wives be complaining that we be taking money out buying this, getting this.
So I think is it Jeremiah 29, Mama's verse, cast your bread on the waters.
Yeah.
And it will so it's funny, Mama's is cast your bread on the waters, and Mom's is in Galatians, keep doing good regardless. What is it? Do good without being weary.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
No, definitely.
So it really has kind of come full circle. No pun intended with Paul.
Jimmy wanted us to know that he got 5 on it. Go ahead, Jimmy. It's fine.
Thank you, Vinny. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. So that's our Cash App.
Yeah. That's where we are. And so let me see if I can get Pizzo on. P, you good now or what?
Good. Can you hear me really good?
Yeah, sure. Better than the last time. Just don't move. Don't move.
Well, just stay where you are and steady the plane. Right.
Move. You got to be like that. Yep. You got to be like them old time antennas that we used to have. If you just
where I was before, they gave me the password to where I was before. They gave me the password to the guests, but over here,
that's what alumni does for you, right?
Oh, I see.
I hear you. Well, it's good. We all on,
man. Graham Snacks.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. Just to let people know that we do have it up and running, and for those who want to support us, that they can. Now, we ain't begging, but we're still having a lot of fun. Some people say, hey, we'd like to give, and so it's fine. That's good. Let's just go ahead and do it. All right.
So guys, can I just, I hope I don't break up, but can I show you where I am? Can I mess you guys up a little bit?
Go ahead. Let's see where we at.
All right. Let's see if
it's always good to see the old campus.
Yeah, but that's why I told him not to move, because when he moves, yeah, I see that. Oh, he's in the lobby. I know where he is.
I'm trying to locate it and try to get it.
Yeah, the reception's terrible.
Okay, I get an idea because
he's in the very, very front.
Right. I know I see exactly where he is.
Right. He's in the front.
So the question is
okay. I know we put Graham Snacks there, but Gary, the money's coming in. All right.
Are you serious, Pat?
Yes. I mean, thanks, y'all. Thanks. I mean, we appreciate it. I mean,
so then I have no excuse to get a mic now, right?
Yeah. You better get your mic, man. We've been talking about that from day one.
Yeah, I should have got that.
You got to get that mic. Somebody donated money for the mic. already.
Yeah, but according to the technical person,
Which
your
is me.
brother, which is Pat was like, just hold off on it a little bit. And I was supposed to go this week because, I don't know who's the Amazon queen, my wife or one of your wives. Because I
Natalie.
asked Nilsa to put it in the Amazon cart. And I wonder how much she has in the Amazon cart. How about you, Pete?
Hey,
Why
I'm ashamed to say so.
why won't we ask our listeners how many items you have
Items
in
do you
your,
have in
you
your
have in your
Amazon
Amazon
cart?
cart right
I
now?
want to see what somebody's gonna say about that.
Right.
I want
Hey,
to see.
hey, Beth, how you doing? Let's do it. Let's do it. How
Yeah,
many?
I just want to know. I want to
How
know
many
how many items do you have in your
have in your
Amazon
Amazon
cart?
cart?
Be honest. Be honest about that.
Ah, Beth was like, bro.
Somebody said, "Oh,
Oh,
Mama." She said she's an Amazon
oh,
queen. Oh,
oh,
Yoni.
pretty hands. 46.
Yeah, she said. Hold on, let me go back to She said she has 46 items in her
No,
in
no,
her
no.
6 items.
46 items.
46 items.
Hold on. She said she's the Amazon queen. Gary, Carolyn out in Daytona. She said, I can't answer. Fritz, that's her husband, everybody. It's too
Right.
close to me.
Fritz, no, but Fritz ain't dropped that hammer yet. So there's a
Hold
wait
on.
a minute. Oh, Linda.
Hold on 1 second before you go on. Aaron Wilson, I think he was really saying he has 3. Aaron Wilson is a politician in Washington, D.C. Just tell us what your position is or what your position was. All right, go ahead.
Really? Okay.
James, what James said, he got close
To $4,000 in the cart.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know what the cart looks like, Pat.
No, it's the cart.
Oh,
Anytime you put something, you just move it to the cart. And when you have money, you could just choose what you want to buy off of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Shay says she got 20 in the cart.
Big shout out to Shay. Yeah. Wait, so let me ask you, Pat. I'm being a little greedy here. So if we have an Amazon wish list for snacks, we can do that.
Yes.
Just like
Really?
Yes.
You can do that. You can do that.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Maybe next quarter.
Uh-oh. Now, this is what I understand. Linda Porter says currently she has 59, but that's a teacher's life.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like preaching, man. These teachers, they're using their own money, you know what I mean, to get stuff for their classrooms and all of that.
Well,
Hold on.
but it pays off for us financially. Us.
Yeah, let me see a hat. You too high. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you good. No, you good, G. That's what I'm talking to Gary. Mama says she's ashamed to put up there. She's ashamed. Gary, there go your little daughter.
38. That's my girl.
So
when y'all go, that's no problem, Camilla. Send me a link. Nothing pricey. I get something for Thanksgiving for my baby.
What she says? What's she saying?
She says 38 items. Make it. I got one, so you can make it 39. So
all right.
Yeah, so that's Camilla's baby now is my my internet goddaughter. I have not met any of them.
Paul.
Patrick.
Yeah.
I hear, Patrick, that your wife is close friends now with the Amazon people.
Yeah, they know her, man. I walk up there, I want to punch one of them cats in their chin, be like, yo, move back up.
Tony works at Amazon too.
Yeah, she knows the drivers. The drivers know who it is, and they know exactly where to put what they need to put.
Wait.
Yeah, but back in the day, Pat, it was the UPS man.
Right. Well, I knew the UPS man. Remember, I was doing a lot of stuff for Graham whatever production. So I was doing stuff for that. But the Amazon people know who she is, and you can't and y'all know this. You can't get to my house easy.
Right. Because I remember when I came over there, and she was like, "Gary, could you pick up the package for me?"
Right.
So they put it in a place.
Yeah. For her.
For her. I could tell that. Right. Yeah, exactly. She told me what
there's no doubt about that. Hold on, let's keep moving. So Gary, what you getting for what do we call her? Timekeeper.
Timekeeper can anything up to $50.
Okay. Camilla, remember that.
The baby. No, Pat, I'm good for it. So
I didn't say that you wasn't good. You know what? I'm good.
Right.
Here go
I you know why I believe that.
Who Dwayne?
Dwayne, because Dwayne says only 6. Right? Dwayne has one of the greatest like what is it, acronyms for your name? Because it's Gary Graham, GG, PG, DL. It's so fly.
Yeah. DL. And he had it on his license plate.
Yeah, his license plate was DL1. Back when the Maryland
DL1
plates was black and white. Just DL1.
Yeah, he had a Honda Accord. Remember the box Honda Accord? The burgundy Honda Accord.
Yeah, but the car that he had after the Honda Accord was the black BMW.
No, Benz.
Yeah. No, sir. Black BMW came after that joint, because the reason why I know is because he donated it for the kids at TA to learn to do
really
mechanics on it. Yeah.
Wow.
He donated that.
God bless him. That's why he's so blessed. That's why he's so blessed.
Yeah, he blessed, and he still returned tithes. So
Dwayne's been returning tithes since 3 months.
Yeah. So Dwayne, you gotta hit me up, man. Gary, I can't put it out to everybody, but he gave me the fattest crypto, and I'm going to share that when I get a chance. Remember, Gary, you said to me some time ago, you were like, yo, Pat, what's your pick? You see what's going on now, right?
Well, Dwayne is one of the greatest consultants out there.
Yeah, he's.
I'll share with you, when I was having a hard time to publish, he suggested that I get on Medium, and I got on Medium.
Okay.
In fact, some of the episodes I've already started, and I alluded to this. You can get the episodes written on Medium.
Okay, I got it.
All right. So
let's keep moving real quick. So we got Dwayne at 6. Everybody, Dwayne's our cousin. Who he work for again? Adventist something, right? He's one of the
healthcare executives for Advent Health.
Yeah. And that's who comes on with us every now and then. That's our first cousin. He got the brains. We got the. Let's keep moving.
Right.
And
we got the stir fry.
I have someone here helping me and trying to hook me up with the Wi-Fi. So somebody sent him $100. If this,
it's got to be right. Ashley said over 5. She says, oh no, what she said, she meant to say she has in hers. She has $400 worth in hers, right? Shay said, I'm ashamed to say the 3 Amazon Prime drivers that deliver to me know me by name. I'm trying to tell you.
Bruh, I wonder, and this is us. I wonder how much action the Amazon drivers get.
Yo, you didn't see the video that went viral?
Come on.
That joint went viral. He was in the back of the truck. Somebody had a video down. That was crazy.
But I mean also, not some people go all the way, but how many times? Hey, Gary. Hey, girl. How you doing?
Listen,
and Christmas.
Wi-Fi portal.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll mute him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, G.
Yeah. So you get because sometimes you see the same customer all the time, and you get a little wink or whatever, whatever. So. Yeah.
Real quick, this dude. Yeah, what's up, G? Was that? I have to ask you, when you had posted that was him?
Yes.
Yo, one day we got to go live when he's cooking for us.
I'm going to tell y'all, right? So Pat and Paul be trying to get in my business when I come down to Maryland, and they'll be like, "Yo, where you at?" So I'm on this thing like I could do what I want. So I'm just going to reveal one of the places I be at is this cat's house.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not ashamed to say this. So this is my true broham.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So when I say I'm coming down, because my man cooks meat. If you look on my page, you'll see the meat.
I saw it. And
it has steaks. And then me and Vern go right in.
I got you. That's my man. One day I had my mask on one day. I was over at the computer store. My man walks up to me. He was like, yo, what's up? I was like, I don't even know you. He's like, oh, you don't know me? I was like, I don't know you. He pulls down his mask. He's like, it's Vern. I was like, is this the dude? Because I kind of know him from Snacks, and you know him from Andrews and all of that, right? So I didn't even. Where you know Vern from?
Vern
is family. He's family.
That's right.
Vern is Nilsa's first cousin.
Got it.
Right. So when I came into the family, me and Vern got cool.
Okay, I thought it was Andrews dude. My bad.
No. Andrews is in this now.
Okay.
So when me and Vern get to talking, Vern knows all the original Adventists from Shiloh.
Oh, so he's a Chicago man.
That's where he's from. You understand? So I'm not gonna bust people. You know, there's some Adventists that don't act Adventists.
Right.
Vern was an Adventist. So when Vern's like, oh, I know them dudes when I was doing stuff in Chicago on Friday night or Thursday.
Yeah.
And he started getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Vern is the original Chicago dude.
Got you.
When Jordan was drafted by Chicago and they had the Chicago party.
Yeah.
Vern was there. Vern was there since Reggie Theus.
Got you. I want to move on. Here's Aunt Hazel in Jamaica. She's like, good evening, fellows. So what do we, at this point, we're like, hey, Auntie. All right. So hey, Auntie, and hoping that Uncle Franz, we've been praying for Uncle Franz that he's getting better.
Sure has.
That's our guy over there. Gee, I want to throw something at you. What do you think about this? Jomo just said Facebook Meta coin is coming soon. Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. What's up?
How you doing, guys?
We don't want your radio voice on here. He dark skinned. He can hang with us, but
dark skinned and handsome.
Right.
No radio voice.
No radio voice on here.
We don't have handsome guys on our show.
So don't bring it down. Don't bring it
down. And then he has the UK, the Idris Elba
twang. Yeah.
What's going on there? We don't want him.
Goodrich sounds the same, Pat. He sounds exactly the same.
That's why I said we don't want him on the show. We don't want that voice to come over and then we lose all of our people.
Right.
All right. I hear you. Yeah. My handle is good.
Man, good to see you, preacher. I'm glad you was holding it down. Good sermon. I know during the interim you had thrown a sermon out there. Really good. Wait a minute. How's wifey? How's wifey doing?
Dr. Wifey.
What?
That's beautiful.
Listen, I'm going to tell her I'm going to send some of this for her. She know what it is.
It's coming. Hold up, Pat. Hold it.
Come back. I need to get you on one.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it? Oh. Gotcha.
Man, please, it's good to see you, Paul. That's Pastor Goodrich, everybody. If you don't know Pastor Goodrich of the Oakwood Church, what is your position there? I know you're one of the pastors, but which one?
Yeah. Associate pastor. I deal with media. I keep things rolling, man. I keep things rolling.
Yeah. And
obviously it has been rolling. I know what it is. All right. Good.
All right.
Hey, Patrick, bring me down. Pat, bring me down, and you're gonna set me up with the Wi-Fi, and I'll come right back on.
All right, no problem.
Okay, cool.
See you, P. Pastor Paul. See you, Pastor.
That's
my boy, everybody. That's my boy. Yeah, G. G.
So that pretty much
Kevin was saying you guys don't understand. I mean, don't realize how small the SDA community is, and it is. We know that it is.
We have dubbed it the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So the Grahams had these little sayings or whatever, or we call it the Adventist. Well, it's Black Seventh-day Adventism.
Yeah,
we call that the bubble, and that is our base audience here.
Yeah.
So when we say share or follow us, we're trying to expand that whole thing. And, this is not to knock anybody. So when people say, "Oh, we don't see you on Hope TV or 3ABN or whatever," that's up to y'all. Because if we have a demanding audience, then we lock down that. So how many episodes is it? 59?
I didn't put it in for this one, but I'll go ahead and
59.
Gary, do you remember Ellen from his wife? Do you remember her from? You don't remember her from Pine?
Handsome Place.
From Handsome Place. That's right. Where all the games used to go down at Handsome Place. So,
Beth said, "I'm sorry, Pat." She said we got to work out. So, if that's an invitation, I got you. I'll be in Atlanta. We could go virtual. So that's fine.
What do you mean by working out?
Beth is a trainer. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You know what I found out? I was at the chiropractor.
Hey. Am I cloudy, y'all? Am I cloudy? What's up?
No, you in.
Paul Goodrich, the man of the hour. And Gary, you look like you still lift weights.
We were just talking about working out.
Not me, bro.
Is Paul still there?
Yeah, he's right here. Yeah.
Tell him that Kevin Taft or Taffet, Kevin Taft was saying, he said, I know Ellen, Dr. Ellen from, I guess it's going to be from Hanson Place.
Yeah.
Somebody else said to tell her hi. Claudette Higgins.
Yes.
Said
Well,
to,
Higgins sound like Pathfinder. I mean, Hanson Place.
It sound like Pearline. It sound like Pearline.
That's right.
Pearline's crew.
Pearline, right. So they said also say what's up to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody saying nothing about Pastor Goodrich. Everything is his wife.
Yeah. Listen, once you throw doctor in there, it's a rape. That's it's done. It's done. Yo, listen, man, really, I wanted him to know about that. Since Buddy left, everybody's like, yo, what's up? But they've been holding down the preaching. I mean,
absolutely.
It's like, not losing any steam. So I got to give them their props, man, that, sometimes you don't know who's behind scene. You heard him just now when he was
I'm going to say
I'm doing media. Right. In the media, people don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this secretly, Pat. I'm going to try to just recruit him to Maryland, the Maryland area. All he has to say is yes. Wait, let's put him on the spot. Hold on a second.
No, what is really what really the point is whatever Dr. Ellen says.
Dr. Ellen says. That's right.
That's what really counts. Right?
Listen, you got Auntie Ellen, you got Dr. Ellen.
That's right.
Good.
Just let him know that Keith Mitchell also said that Keith Mitchell is his
That's
best
my
friend.
boy.
So
Keith
the
Mitchell.
Mitchells, right?
Right.
Of course, it's his wife's family. His best friend. I remember the twins would ride their bikes all over Brooklyn.
Oh yes.
Keith has twins.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're track stars, and he married Sandra.
You listen. When we say this, yes. But they had Kingsborough Church.
Yeah, Kingsborough.
Yeah, Kingsborough Church.
Keith was my friend in.
You thinking Patrick? You thinking about Mitch?
No, it's his family.
From his brother-in-law, Mitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many brother-in-laws? Yeah, it's like 4 of them.
No, there's 7.
That's right. She's the only girl.
Yes.
That's right.
When I had to go through.
You can hear his voice, right? You can hear his voice. Okay, go on.
Okay, yeah.
Before you do that, keep the octave a little one up.
Okay. I'm gonna move the mic away from his voice.
Yeah, that one is fine right there. Nah, go ahead, man. Do your thing. Yeah.
No, man. Listen, when I proposed to Ellen, and we talked about getting married, and we talked about potentially getting married in Barbados because I had a family reunion coming, and I wanted her to come. And if you're not married and you're walking on the beach late at night, I can't be going off to the left to my house and then her going to the right. We can't do that.
It's not gonna happen.
That's not happening.
Right.
So, I said, okay, how do you feel about getting married in Barbados as opposed to Hanson Place?
Right. Whoa.
And she said, well, I would have to get all 7 of her brothers to come. So I had a mission to track down all 7 of them to have them come. So,
but isn't there something like that? 7 brothers for 7 brides? Isn't that a
Yes, that's a musical.
A musical.
Yeah,
something like that.
7 of them. That's like the Jackson family from Christian Fellowship.
Yo, listen though, the few brothers that was up at Hanson Place, you didn't even want to fight with them. Remember, we used to have the games from Hanson Place and Bethel, but now you didn't come from the New York way. You came from the England way.
Mm-hmm.
No, these guys were in New York.
Yeah,
they were at Linden Church.
England, I was at
Linden Church.
You're right.
Yes,
because your brother played the bass.
Yes, David played bass. Yeah,
that's right.
I played guitar.
That's
my sister played keyboard.
That's right.
And Earl played drums.
That's right.
Yo,
where's Earl?
Earl was my boy.
He's in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, Florida. Messed up right now by calling my boy's name.
Yo, listen. If anybody can find, Earl is not even on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
he's incognito.
That is my dude.
I don't even want to talk to Earl. Earl knows 2.5 years of my secrets from Andrews University. I have nothing to do right. I have nothing evil to say about that guy.
Hold on 1 second. And Pastor and Paul.
Yeah.
Goodrich. The dude can preach.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Earl? Oh, yeah, he can go.
Earl
He
can
can go.
preach. Hey, sweetie. Hey, baby.
Hi.
Earl can preach.
Yeah, he can go.
Yeah, Earl can
Okay,
preach. Earl can preach.
Earl
He's
can
definitely a
go.
preacher.
Well, don't
And
worry about
I'm
it. When he rise up, out the ashes, we all in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let me say this before I go.
Go ahead.
I don't.
Struggling with ministry in terms of should I be a pastor or not? Call to ministry when I was
Hold
12.
on, let me check something.
Hold on, Gary. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Call to ministry when I was 12. Ran in the opposite direction like Jonah. Did my thing.
Yep.
Went to Queen's College. Studying, like pre-law, that type of communications.
Right.
But God kept telling me, come, be a pastor.
Right.
So do you remember Kyron John?
Absolutely.
What are you talking about? Come on, man.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So he was an associate pastor at Hanson Place. Sorry, at Linden. Sorry. And he, told me I needed to come to Oakwood. I came to Oakwood, went through freshman orientation, wondering, is this really for me?
Right.
Got down to Friday night AY service.
Done.
Come on.
No. Listen, I will never forget Friday night AY service.
Okay.
We're outside of Moran Hall.
Mm-hmm.
The doors are locked. It's raining. People are waiting for security to come and open the doors.
I know where you're going.
And there were two guys who were like, you know what? We just gonna sing until they come. So they started leading this impromptu song service outside of Moran Hall. I remember when security came, we were just filing into Moran Hall, but we're still singing.
Yes.
And I don't remember what the program was, but at the end we sang I Shall Wear a Crown.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there in Moran Hall, surrounded by all of these people. And some of them are singing, to my left, somebody's singing alto. And to my right, somebody's singing, tenor. And behind me, somebody's singing bass. And I'm like, Lord, this is why I'm here.
This is why I'm here. Yeah.
This is why I'm here. Yes.
Yeah. And me and Paul cannot begin to talk about how all around the world we went to come back to this place. So God has his ways of listen, heaven is going to be the funniest place ever.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Listen, we're sinners. Not Paul. Me and you, Pat.
Yeah,
we're sinners. No, worse than that, Gary. Sinners saved by grace. Not Paul. Paul been an angel. That's why he wears these big jackets because the wings are here. The wings are in.
Now, Paul, and I want to thank you for that story, because even somebody said in the chat just now, that's a wonderful testimony. Sometimes sometimes we say what we want to say about Oakwood. We say there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. And there's a lot of bad and there's a lot of good. But I still believe that the Spirit of God hovers over that place.
Yeah.
You can't be there and walk away, and even those who have gone there for 1 quarter, we call it 1 quarter, but 1 semester, have to leave with a little bit of something on them. They're just Oakwoodites for life.
Yeah.
All it takes is 1 quarter. 1 quarter and you're stuck.
Yeah.
1 quarter and you're stuck.
Yeah.
So
there's nowhere you go in this country, even the world.
World.
Without some connection to Oakwood.
Yep.
It's a fact. Well, listen, before Paul goes, you know what happens when you're a guest? What happens? Everybody's gonna say it. Everybody's gonna put it in the chat right now. You know what happens when you're a guest?
That's right.
Music, Pat. Question, Gary.
Yeah, Paul, thank you for coming on. But before you leave, you have to answer the question: who is your favorite Graham?
Your parents.
That's always the out one.
That's the out.
That's what people normally say.
Some people say. And then people come back in the chat and says, "No, you have to pick one."
Somebody's gonna say, "No, you gotta pick one." And really, let me know this PG. It's not gonna hurt any one of us.
No.
Right.
Hold on 1 second. Ellen? Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm on live with the Graham brothers, which means you're also on with the Graham
Right.
How on earth did that happen?
Just say, yes, they can hear you. Just say hi.
Okay, I'll see this one. Hi.
They're bringing out like
Hey,
old
doctor.
handsome place, Bethel stories, rivalries. Yeah.
And how did you get in that mix, dear? From Queens?
I'll explain afterwards.
Oh my goodness.
All right, hold on.
So maybe Ellen can look. Somebody wrote Ellen Gold.
Yep, somebody said Ellen Gold. Ellen Gold.
Somebody knows her
Yeah,
when
so
they put Ellen Gold.
Claudette Higgins is saying hi to you in their chat.
Lord,
Yes.
said hi.
And they're saying Kevin Taft, they're saying congratulations
The
and
doctorate.
yeah.
So it said, I haven't
You
heard
told
that.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You
I'm
have
still live.
Yeah, you are live.
Yeah.
You are Facebook, you are live.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
look at somebody said, I haven't heard that voice in years.
Wow.
And let me tell you, that's a contemplative voice, you know.
Yeah.
She don't say nothing quick.
I don't even know if she raises her voice. Period. I've never heard her raise her voice. Never. Hey, look at Paul. Yes, she has.
No, okay. Sabbath lunches at the Martins, you have to raise
talk,
your
that's
voice in order to be heard.
Oh,
All
man.
right, guys.
Listen,
to see
thanks for
you
hanging
guys.
on with
Good
us.
to
We got
see
a
you.
little show ahead of us, and thanks for the Wi-Fi.
Thank you
Oh,
for the
no
Wi-Fi,
problem.
man. We
No
appreciate
problem.
you, man.
No problem.
Oh, Pat, I just want you to know that if he's ready to come to the Maryland area, there are 3 churches waiting for him. That's all I gotta say. somebody just said you can't take him from us. We need him.
They just said ask about her mom's loaf.
And
Hey,
somebody
please,
ask about her mom's loaf.
look alive, Fife. Look
Her-
alive,
her-
Fife.
yes. He said it's still going strong.
Good. Gee,
A
what you
roast
doing?
and
What
the
you doing?
fish. And roast and
I'm
fish.
sharing. You know, didn't we say that?
Yeah.
we wrote
Well, I'm on the show, G. I'm going to teach you how to share.
But somebody just said, what's the answer to the question? Somebody wants to know what's the answer to the question. You got to come back.
Hurry up.
You got to come back. Here we go.
Okay.
Just name one. Just name one. You know, just name.
No. My favorite Graham is the one who I routinely spanked
In racquetball. All right, bye. It's me.
Yeah, the racquetball court was something awesome.
Something else.
Awesome. Gary, learn to share with your head up. Learn to share with your head up.
For everyone who's on with us right now.
You're a therapist, right? And you know you do online therapy.
Right.
You know, you know that you in your therapy you still answer, but you have your phone right here.
I haven't mastered that yet. I really haven't.
So really quickly, or just pause, everyone. We just want you to know that for those who are on right now, you're on by Facebook or you're on by YouTube. Take this opportunity now. Just share it, man. Share it with 5 to 10 friends. Just share it. We are at Oakwood. I am at Oakwood University Church. The new home. I'm gonna say the new home of who's the pastor, Pat? Of Debonair Snell.
Snell.
The house that Eric Ward built.
That's
what I'm going to say. The house that Eric Ward built, and the excitement. The excitement.
By Dr. Bird.
I didn't. The excitement of Pastor Bird. I just think that God has done so much, and the steps. But Pastor Brown, who was here, Pastor Nixon, who was here. Folks who may not even know Pastor Tapp, who's not here. And truthfully speaking, I don't see Pastor Tapp's face on this wall.
Pollard was there too.
That's right. Pollard was there. Right. Pollard was there too. So I'm gonna have to petition that my president's name need to be up on here because he taught here and he was one of the pastors here, holding it down until the new pastor came.
Well, let me share something else with you. Wait till you hear Snell. If you haven't heard him on his platform, wait till you hear him on the Oakwood platform.
Snell is bad.
He's a
monster.
And I told Gary about that from the time that Buddy was leaving. And I said, yo, G, if Snell gets there, just pardon none. This guy is an excellent orator. You can tell that he studies well.
Yeah.
Just an awesome guy. And kudos go to all of those who held it down while they were in that transition. And so, you know, I think it's in January that
he begins.
listen, breath of life.
You know, you got First Church, where he's done a marvelous job at First Church. All the pastors who have come through First Church has done a marvelous job from the time I knew from Willis was there. Yeah. So for the work that he has done, for the administrative work that he's done, I'm not saying that Snell deserves it. What I'm saying is that he's the man for this time. Yeah, you know, and there's a difference between it, because too many times, just because you did something doesn't mean you deserve something. Sure. You understand where I'm coming from? He is the person for this time. This is the guy that I want. The two guys that just left, Buddy, he's the guy that I wanted there if my kids are here. Snell, he's the guy I want here if my kids are here. Hands down.
It would be like what we did when we was at Oakwood. Not to say anything about Elder Ward. Remember, we used to go to First Church. Everybody used to get up early in the morning. Sometimes you walked, because you know you could walk up Sparkman
and go straight down,
and people will pick you up at the old church. Yeah, they know that you're coming through. As long as you're holding your Sabbath school lesson with you, you be fine. You'll be fine.
Listen, somebody asked Charles Tapp. Charles Tapp is, yes, he's the one from St. Louis. A lot of people don't know that Charles Tapp is from St. Louis.
Oh, you did say something to me like that.
He is from St. Louis, and he's a bad boy too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for those minutes, you know, he's the president now of the radio station, 90.1 radio station. So he's doing this thing, man. He's doing this thing. Wu asked the question, what did I miss? You better ask some questions, bro.
Listen up. We got a transition. I wanted to first find out, do you guys have your snacks with you? That's important, because I know that we're going to move.
Y'all gonna be jealous of me.
Because we're going to the end. This is our end piece of domestic violence. And while we deal with
okay, I'm sorry.
While we're going to dealing with domestic violence, I just want everybody to share right now while we're doing it. Share, because this is an important piece that comes down to the end of all of this. All right. So we go with our snacks. G, real quick, I want to know what we got, what's going on with it. Then I want to bring up one more thing, because I want to know what we're doing. Thanksgiving, I want to know what we're doing. December, we've not discussed it. I'm just dying to know what it is. But let me see the snacks that you guys got. Let me see.
So today I got, you know, Pat, there's a lot of people on the internet that are selling popcorn for fundraising.
Okay, that's right.
Right. So I'm going to say that Nilsa went ahead and bought some popcorn from Joy Walker.
Okay.
And then hope you can see this. This one is the caramel one.
Okay.
So anybody out there who is, and yesterday I ate the Double Good salt and pepper, which is pretty good. So, you know, if anybody's selling these popcorn boxes, I'm going to recommend it. Pretty good.
Okay.
And then my dear wife made me some iced coffee. And then most of all, the recommendation for the week is cocoa bread. If you want something, hey, you know, the holidays are coming. You want a quick snack? Go get yourself some cocoa bread.
Yo, that's for real. But you need some good cheese with that. I mean, you need some good chicken patties with that.
Beef patty, any beef patty, or the cocoa bread just enhances the meat that's inside. But I was thinking about cocoa bread all this week, and especially if it's buttered down nicely. And
all right, yeah. Dwight Dunkley want to know who got the healthy snack. It's almost seeming like Gary, but go, Paul. What you got?
I got Funyuns, man.
Yeah, that ain't healthy, but it's good.
But let me tell you what's healthy. Got my water.
Yeah, that's good. Me too. Me too. I'm drinking water.
Y'all only got you right here.
Mm-hmm.
We need essential to have us sponsored.
What I found out, Yoni says, I need the patty with the cocoa bread. I hear you. What I found out yesterday when I went to the chiropractor is that I'm not drinking enough water for my muscles. So I'm getting back to drinking water and making sure I'm where I need to be as far as that's concerned. Because, Gary, let me just share this one thing with you. Sometimes anxiety could be exacerbated by dehydration.
Wow, Pat.
Yeah.
I've all my years, and that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason why that happens like that is because you don't have in the bloodstream that oxygen that's flowing. So it can even get to the point where you think you have anxiety, but you're really confused because you're not it's not where it need to be. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that point out there real quick to everyone. And
Mr. Downer, you cannot have patties without cocoa bread.
well, hey, I want to hit you with this. I got the water crackers.
All right, classic.
I'm going to be honest with you. I took this right off of mom and dad's table. It was just closed up.
They're not going to miss it.
I'm just saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Gary, Pat, I choked on that joint the other day. My mother-in-law gave me that joint. And I left and I was going to pick up something. Man, I'm in the car like this.
Yo, when you ever had cornmeal that you pound? Cornmeal that you can eat like that? Now that thing will kill you.
Parched corn. It's called parched corn.
Big shout out to mom for hooking up breakfast.
Oh, mom said, really? Oh, she didn't know I took it,
Now she knows.
Yeah.
I don't know if mom really keeps inventory
of what she has.
Of what she has.
She knows. She knows.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Somebody said Excelsior water crackers. Yeah, that's what this is. Excelsior water crackers, and of course I have my water.
Patrick, it's not called water crackers.
Water cracker.
It's called water crackers.
Big shout out to mom and dad for pushing us around this week. Right.
So you saw what I put up on Facebook. And
yeah, let's hit that real quick because that's important, right?
I don't think that there was a problem with doing that.
I'm with that, right? I'm fine.
I think one of the hardest things to have to deal with is these family meetings, and I'm not trying to be somber about it, but these family meetings that talks about what happens when you die. You know what I mean? And so I felt that it was sobering. So yep. I think it was also a wake up call. Yep. So just to let everybody know, our parents called us to come together. When was it, Gary? Tuesday.
I think it was Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday. We all came together to discuss, what
life.
happened. Yeah,
discuss life.
It is life
after death. Life after death.
That's life after death, and paperwork and assets and estate planning, all that kind of stuff. It's hard to hear, but
you got to do it. We're in our 30s, guys. Like right now, we're in our 30s.
We only wish.
And we, even if you're 30 and you're married and you have a child, you should have a will.
That's right. I agree with that.
The state will take your stuff from you.
Yeah, it's true. So that was the conversation. And so I while we were in the car driving, remember we guys was going to the bank and we're talking about a bunch of stuff. We didn't finish talking about what we're doing. Where are we going for Thanksgiving?
I don't know.
See that?
I'm in Maryland. I'm in Maryland because who got to work.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what it's all about. I see Krista come on. Krista jumped on.
I want to pause for a second. The choir is here before we go into the domestic violence issue. The choir from TA is here, and I want to thank Krista for sending some money. I want to, some funds for the choir to get here. I want to thank Harold also. Harold, who was just on, he sent some money. Brianni sent some money. There were so many people that sent some money. Avia sent some money, and to get the choir down here. And they're right now practicing at the inside of Oakwood University Church. Okay. I wish I could I probably could bring it in there with y'all, but they're doing just a marvelous job. Young people,
maybe
man.
When we transition, just try to take a peek.
Yeah, try to get about that.
Yeah. So yeah.
But big shout out to I always say this, Pat, and I always say that.
Krista always supporting something.
First person.
Always.
You put something up, always. So I don't know if Krista's a millionaire or not, but whatever she has, it's even if it's $5, she's gonna put it on the table.
Yeah.
So
okay. Just hold off. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit. Shh. Put me up by myself, Pat.
Song where there's love, song You know, it's not as I think of it like basis because you have to go house. I was telling you, I think if you brighten up a little bit, it'll have a little more. Oh, hello. How you doing? What is this? Facebook or something? No.
Yo, that's my man right there.
Right there.
50 grand. That is my man right there.
Welcome him to snacks.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Okay. So basis. You know is the word Lord?
Lulu.
Yeah. Try this one.
Yeah, G. So you see mom jumping on talking about bring back the crackers, right? Yeah, that was Jason Ferdinand, Owen. Just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, G. So I think we need to make this transition. You know, this is the last of the month, and for domestic violence, G, I'm gonna tell you something. I've learned so much.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the conversation we had because I've been doing this for like 20 years, and now you and I talked about the gaslighting aspect,
right?
And maybe our guests could talk about the gaslighting aspect,
right?
And possibly men could be victims of domestic violence.
Oh yeah.
Also.
Oh yeah.
So everybody usually talk about breast cancer. We don't want to diminish it,
right?
But the whole domestic violence initiative took off this month because we had great guests on.
Sure.
And so,
but not only that did they bring a plethora of facts and different stats and all of that, but you have to ask yourself the question, is it I? Or you have to act, because remember it has this underlying thing. When I say is it I'm not trying to say, oh, I guess everybody has domestic violence in them or domestic abuse in them. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to be careful of certain things that you do and certain things that you say, because you may not necessarily batter someone. I mean, put your hands on someone, but you still get to a place where you can psychologically abuse somebody.
But Pat, before you
go ahead.
Before you hit anybody, I say this: you have to tear down their mental capacity.
That's right.
So before anytime, just so even when you go into boxing, and those two boxers come into the ring, and you hear things go back to camp and whatever. Even when you play baseball, or when we used to play basketball against other teams, you drop little psychological information.
Right.
So the victim is torn down mentally before the victim is hit physically.
Of course.
So you don't want them to respond, because you want them at their weakest when you hit them.
That's right. That's right. And which is most of the time the last part of it.
Right.
Exactly. So the first part of it, you're right, Gary, is to wear them down psychologically. And to tell you the truth, the hitting side of it, I was talking to a friend of mine today, the bruises will always go away.
Right.
But the mental part of it, it takes longer for that to go away than the bruises go away. Oh, I know who it is. Kesslin Braid. Which guys we went to school with her. She told a real funny story on another podcast that we had, that she was at Wade Hall, and when she first got to Oakwood, she looked out the window and saw a car driving through the field. Somebody says, "Oh, if you don't know them by now, that's the Grand Boys."
Big shout out to Kesslin, because she does a PhD program. If you want to learn or go through the PhD program, she's like a consultant.
Right. And not
really
only
quickly, I'm just saying,
also an MDiv.
Does she?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shay says that she lost one of her very best friends to domestic violence on June 28th. Pat, why is that a big day for us?
Yeah, that's our birthday.
That's our birthday. Her husband killed her and killed himself. It weighs on me daily. That hurts. That hurts, Pat. I remember we had a good friend. We have a good friend, Square, and while we were in school, you remember while we were in school, he lost a cousin that way also.
Yeah,
I
remember going to the funeral to that too, and also that what Shay said just now, Kesslin said on another podcast that we were on. She said, and they won't even report it as domestic violence. That what Shay is saying. Hey, go ahead, Gary.
Homicide.
That's right. They'll or murder, suicide, or something like that. They won't say that it's a domestic violence.
So that's a public health thing, and public health that falls into epidemiology.
Right.
So at the end of the day, domestic violence doesn't get any funding because you do not have the true deaths. And I give the audience this information. So when the people who died on 9/11, right?
Go ahead.
Their cause of death was homicide.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
So, so whenever you have an epidemiologist or whatever you make a count, the count has to go into the correct slot.
Right.
So when you need funding for certain things, you can say this percentage of what's going on, whatever. So when you fight for domestic violence, you have to fight on a policy side. You can march, you can wear purple, we could bring all these guests up there, but you really have to fight for the policy to change little subtle things like that so you could get the money that you need.
I'll give you another one that needs to change, especially the types of policy. The policy needs to be changed as far as law enforcement is concerned. Right. Why I say that is because if an abuser is taken to jail or whatever, I think it's one of the people who we talked to. I think it was Kelly Blakeney that we had the conversation with.
Yes.
She was saying that this thing is like a misdemeanor.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Or a lower class felony or something.
Or lower class. She said it was a misdemeanor.
Right.
She said it was a misdemeanor.
So
and what's so frightening about that is that it's not counted in our community. And that's what you see. If it's in a white community, I'm just gonna be honest with you. No, let me say this: if it's in a white community, you'll find that it's domestic abuse. Okay, O.J. Simpson, domestic abuse. You see where I'm coming from. But in our communities, you'll find that it is not slated, as Gary said, it's not slated as something that has to do with mental or psychological issues, because a person who stays in stuff like that, there's something mentally wrong there.
Well, not only that, but it takes. I've learned that it takes 7 times that you leave for you to. I mean, it's just amazing. Listen,
and it's too late. It'll be too late by the 3rd one.
Right. Now, listen, I know we're making our transition. We do have a guest that's coming on with us. Gary, I have to say, I know you keep in contact with her. I have not seen, I'm going to call her Ovita now. When she comes on, we ought to call her by her name.
A proper name.
Dr. Williams. I have not seen Ovita since, I have to say, for me, it's before college. I have not seen her.
I would have to say the same thing too. I have not seen her. I just been trolling her.
I have not even trolled her to know. So when Gary was like, yo, I'm in contact with Ovita, I was like, Ovita, who? You mean the 3 bad hype girls?
Bad. I love them sisters, boy.
Amanda, Sharonda.
See what we did? We did the wrong thing. We did the wrong thing. I know my wife is around here somewhere. We did the wrong thing. We should have taken the 3 of them to some exotic island in their young 20s.
They're from
and have them sign papers for the plane flight back. And when they get back, they find out it was all marriage papers. Would have been good. Would have been good.
Well, let's look.
I just want to say before Ovita comes up, she's a doctor, Dr. Ovita Williams, executive director of Gary, help me, CSSW. She will tell us Action Lab for Social Justice.
Yeah. That's the Columbia School of
Social Work. Right. Columbia School of Social Work. That's what it stands for. And she has taught social work practice and domestic violence courses. Good grief.
Beautiful.
We don't have to rush with her because she has an appointment at 4:20.
Okay.
And
we have
not 4:20.
I'm going to ask everyone. I'm going to ask everyone, please please share this as much as you can right now. With the kind of information you've been getting all week, all month long, we are honored to have this person on with us to continue the awareness. Because Pat, what you told me the other day, you didn't even know. You've been in relationships in the past. We've been in relationships in the past where we could have been the abuser and didn't know.
Yeah, both ways.
Both sides.
Definitely.
So please.
So I want to come on and bring her on, and she has a hard stop at 420. Okay,
You got it.
Not smoking weed, just 420. She has a hard stop. All right.
What we got to do with it, Pat?
Don't worry about it. You got to be a youth director to understand that. And Paul, please don't tell me you didn't know that 420.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Okay,
I was about to say, man,
you got me back. You got me. I'm sorry.
We got to bring her on. Doctor, how are you?
OMG. That's all I got to say.
Wow.
Oh my God. I am so happy to see you all. I'm
wow.
Amazing.
I'm fanning over here. I'm so happy to see y'all, and I'm glad that your brother invited me to come today. And Gary and I have been doing some wonderful work together in the therapy and counseling world, mental health world, and it's really been great to reconnect as professionals now. So
hold on, Gary.
Sisters are fine.
Hold on,
hey,
Gary.
Shay. I know Shay. Hey, it's a small world. Let me tell you, it's a small world.
It is a small world from Cloud.
Hey, Shay. Yeah, we got a good friend that we've been chatting with on Facebook, trying to get that high school reunion together.
Gotcha.
Sounds good.
Gotcha. You look great. I have to say I have not seen you in over 30-something years.
You all look like you have not aged. So I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, none of y'all.
And real quick, before we dive in, how's Amanda?
Amanda's wonderful. Which one are you?
No. Back up, Patrick.
Wait. That's Patrick. That's Paul. Okay. Surprise, Patrick's asking me that, but okay.
Thank you.
I thought I was confused. Didn't I see you over at Wicked once? We were running through. Who I saw at Wicked at the theater? Wicked.
It was me.
It was me.
It was me.
That's how long ago.
That's how long ago it was. You're
absolutely right.
And Pat, stop asking about my girl. Okay, stop. Okay.
I was getting ready to ask about Amanda. Then I'm gonna tell Amanda about Sharonda. I was gonna go right through. So that's where I was.
Are we here? Are we here to talk about old times, or are we here to,
We're not here to talk about old times. But you got the three has to come back on.
But remember now, there's four. If you don't remember, there's really four.
There's a little one. What was her name?
Well, Kara.
Kara.
She's we're up there in age. They have husbands and situations. I don't, so single up in here. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, girl.
Listen. Let's jump into this really quick because
all right, let's jump in.
Gary is on cloud 9. Like I brought her on.
He's kind of quiet over there, right?
So let me just say this.
Go ahead, G.
Ovita has been a blessing to my work, and we have a lot of praying people, and we're working on a project with New York Life to work with the Action Lab and racial justice, and we're working hard. So we're going after a grant, and we're going after 5 figures. And for those who want to pray for us so we can make this thing happen, just say a little prayer for us. We'll be meeting with some of the executives at New York Life, and Ovita works very hard as the executive director over at Columbia, at the Action Lab. So
you can that's where Google.
That's where our connection is. So we're gonna throw it in the chat, Pat, if you can. In the meantime,
no problem. We'll do that,
and then we'll move it on there. But thanks for coming up.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on.
I'm happy to be here, and just shoot questions at me however
here's
you want to do this.
Here's what I want to ask you first. Since you have taught, you have a syllabus, of course, as a teacher, as a professor. When you teach your domestic violence class, give me like your first 3 on the outline.
The first 3 on the outline. Well, I think people often think that domestic violence is just physical. Right. So we do a whole outline on what is intimate partner violence, and really get the scope of how people can understand that in an intimate relationship with someone who has power and control over you, what abuse looks like. So we do the signs and things that people should know. And then people always say, why? How do people, why does it even exist? How does it all happen? And I say, when a stranger on the street attacks you, you're going to be immediately upset that that person attacked you. You want the police involved.
Right.
When it's an intimate relationship, this is someone that you are, married with, you have children with, you have a home with. It's much harder to say stop, to really be able to call the police or to do whatever to take care of yourself because of that level of intimacy that you have with the person. And third, people often ask, why doesn't the woman usually leave?
Right. Right.
All right.
Right.
So we just
Okay.
spend a lot of time on helping people unpackage that. I think many of us could raise our hands right now and talk about relationships we were in that were not good relationships,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
Question mark about whether it was abusive or not. We can have, but like it wasn't good, but we
Right.
hung out for a while,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we
We
all have
stuck.
our reasons.
We stuck with
We
it. Yep.
we stuck with it. We hung out. We had all sorts of rationale. It's the same thing. It's not any different. It's not any different. Love the person, security, family, isolation, religion, children together, dependent on
Wow.
all of that,
And
and
that's some
and
reason why
love
we stay.
and roles
Is that
and
the
roles
security?
too.
Is that the
Yeah.
security why we stay?
I think the security, right? Because it's not, and then you can't not folks can't often leave because that would mean dropping in terms of economic security, in terms of a particular neighborhood,
Mm,
a church that we're connected with,
mm,
So
so it helps people to kind of take a step back. And as a social worker, because I teach social workers, to really understand where folks are coming from and not jump to judgment. Because if you're
yeah.
going to help this person, you've got to be able to empathize with this person and
Okay.
where they are.
Wow. One of the things that I've realized is that because you mentioned religiosity can do that to you also. I read a book lately on a book, and my brothers. It sounds really funny, Gary and Pat, that I read a book on this. I want to be a better reader, but on church abuse.
Church
And
abuse.
it's amazing how when you said that, how so many of us stay in relationships because of church. Create relationships because of church. Someone gets
Right.
pregnant, instead of feeling abused by the church, you'll get married to that person, stay there with that person. I just think that once you added that religion component, I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
we hurt people, or we can't see beyond
No.
our rules and regulations that cause people to not only be hurt but stay hurt. I
Right.
love
And
that. Thank you so much
people,
for that.
it's so deep. I'm so glad that you're talking about that and that you all continue to clearly on your platform be able to talk about this because this is so important and it really prevents people from wanting to speak with their church leaders or, peers because then people will think differently of me if I say that I'm in a hurtful relationship and I think I can't be here any longer.
well,
What are
Doctor,
what are my resources? And often it's like, what do people hear? God will take care of it.
pray.
Pray, stay
Mhm.
with it. Don't think about your children, all of that. And on the other side, if someone is seeking help, the helper has got to be able to think in that broader lens and be very mindful of what you're saying, because it could help that person might retreat and think that the only person that they have is the person who is physically and emotionally and sexually assaultive to them,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
So there's a retreat and isolation that happens that the person who's committing the abuse literally breeds on. So
Mhm.
when you talk about gaslighting, what does it sound like? It sounds like no one will believe you. This is
Mm,
all in your head.
Mm.
God said you're supposed to stay in the relationship.
Right.
The gaslighting, the manipulation,
That's right.
I think, as Gary was saying, is significantly harmful, and we overlook that. We don't think about how much someone can play those mind games
That's
with
right.
Mm.
us.
That's right.
If you leave, you won't leave with those children,
uh,
you know?
Oh
Wow.
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 That's gaslighting too, huh?
Yes. I think I was sharing the story on the last podcast with Gary was where, I work with someone who was trying to go to school, make her life better. and the person that she was with, the abusive partner, would take her shoes and like her clothing and
And
hide it.
hide it. Wow.
Would not pay the light bill so she couldn't study. She would be in the dark. I mean, these are the kinds of things that we might even say to ourselves, oh, you know what? He's just upset, or, but this kind of stuff really eats at your ego and your sense of self and your confidence and your
Wow.
self-esteem.
Wow.
And
Yes.
it is over a serious manipulation, and it is over a period of time. Although when you all had said that, one of the things that I want to say is that although when we first meet someone, it's not like this ugly ogre, because we're enraptured. We're like,
Right.
whoa, hot, sexy, whatever. I love their brain, their whatever. Like, but there are signs.
There are red flags. There
are red flags.
So we miss it
and
because we're in love.
we miss it because we're human beings. We miss it because
Wow.
wherever we are in our stage of life, we're out of a long-term relationship looking for love.
Right.
Young, oh my gosh, our teenagers, right, looking for whatever in that. Somebody's telling me I'm beautiful, I'm sexy. Oh, someone's calling me, texting me, DMing me 50, 100 times a day. They must care for me.
Yeah.
But in that is like serious manipulation. And so it's harder then for someone to say, oh, you know what, I'm, because you become blinded by that. And so we have to stop blaming the person who is experiencing that, and really the person who's committing that. And I think that's where we are in our culture, in our society, with always putting it on the victim and not having accountability for the person who is the controller and the manipulator.
You have somebody on, Reginald Fisher, who asked the question. We need to know the signs.
Can you name?
How do we see those signs? Can you name one or two signs? Even one sign. What are some of the signs that we can?
If you are feeling in a relationship that you are not being listened to, cared for,
wow,
the sensitivity to your feelings, if someone's dismissing your feelings, if someone's saying to you, why are you going to see your family every time? You're like, every time. I'm not just saying once in a while.
Right.
And with that kind of like,
isolation.
You should stay here with me.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is saying, I don't like what you're wearing, that's too short, that's too this, that's too that, all the time, right? People have taken people's money out of their savings account.
Right.
We don't talk about financial abuse enough. Maybe they're asking you for money a lot out of your check for the family home, and you're like, where the money going? But you don't know what's going on. I'm not saying like any of people have a hard time thinking of all of that as abuse.
Right.
I would say that is unhealthy in a relationship.
No, but you said it in the beginning. Those are red flags.
Those are red flags.
That something is coming later, or something is around.
And it may not be physical later, right? There's also sexual abuse that we don't talk about. And let's not even add religion in with this concept of marital rape.
Yeah.
Because it happens. If you are saying no, even in your marital bed, and someone is making you go forward with something you don't want to do,
because I'm the man of the house and I'm the spiritual head of the house. I'm being sarcastic. I'm the spiritual head of the house. Therefore, God says that I can get what I want when I want it.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question. Yvetta Hodges just posted something. I'm wondering if it's okay to put it up. I'm going to need a yes.
It's already public, so go ahead.
Absolutely. She writes, my ex would not allow me to work after I had children. So I had to ask him for money, then tell him what I was going to use it for.
That's right.
Then years later, that was his exact words. If you leave, you will not leave with the children. Push me down the driveway as I left anyway. It was hard, but I had to get out. Wow, that's courageous, first of all.
Thank
not
you.
Not just courageous to write it, but courageous to leave. That's courageous.
Thank you so much, Yvetta. That is so important. And there is support, and that's the other thing. That isolation,
Here we go.
even what Yvette just spoke about, right? The hard part of the getting out is loaded. It's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of stuff in there. And the other thing, and what I did as a social worker in my work, I worked in the DA's office for 10 years
I
in
remember that.
Brooklyn.
wow.
Yeah, in Brooklyn. I worked for Charles Hines for
Mhm.
10 years, and I
Wow.
ran the counseling unit. I had about, when I left, I had about 25 social workers that I oversaw. And so what
Mhm.
we did is work with people who came into the office because there was an arrest made or
Okay.
there was a family court. So, but there was a criminal court for sure.
Right.
And we then would provide services and get people access to what it is that they needed. A lot was shelters, finding
Mhm.
people, but also changing jobs, moving out of their neighborhood. Counseling, you need therapy, you need counseling. This stuff
Right.
breaks you down.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
It is a public health issue and a mental health issue,
And
and a crisis that we,
Yeah.
so there are resources available. Don't feel like you are alone and that there is no one that will listen and understand and know how to support you, whatever
I,
that support looks like.
Doc, I want to just say this because of your interest in this, without putting your business out there or not.
Yeah.
What got you? Was it a personal experience that brought you here, or is it an experience that you've seen somewhere that brought you here? But where did your passion come from, if you don't
Yeah,
mind me
well,
asking?
no, I'm glad that you asked, and I'm very open. I so many of us go into social work because we've been down a road,
Okay.
been down a path, maybe some trauma or what have you. Every time I talk to my students, I ask them that very question: what
how
brought
you
you
doing
here?
this? Yep.
And
Mm.
often, so I would say a big part of it is my life. What are we, all Caribbean up in here? Right on the screen.
Yeah.
Corporal punishment
It can
was
cause trauma.
spare the rod,
Rod and
spoil the
spoil the child.
child.
That's
Yeah.
right.
There was corporal punishment and also domestic violence in my own
Sure.
family. I saw
Sure.
the women in my life experience abuse. I have myself experienced abuse in a relationship with my daughter's father for a number of years before I was like, peace out, and
Mhm.
honestly, there were several things, but she was 2 years old when something happened. He came at me, and I looked at her
Mm.
and I said, hell no,
Right.
this is not going to
That
happen. It
happened.
stops here.
Right.
Right.
It stops here. So, going into this work, yes, it is my passion, and it is, I'm all about gender equality. I'm all about looking at gender-based violence globally, and how we can end, gender inequality.
Gary, she has to come back.
I'm a feminist,
She has to come
all of
back to
that.
that. She has to come
Yeah,
back to that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the
I
church,
think
the
it
church has
does
a
speak,
problem with that.
yeah.
So
And
we
it
have to talk about that.
totally, many
That's right.
religions, not all, but many religions
Right.
have an idea and
Yep.
use their scriptures to say women have a role,
Yep.
And
men
stay
have
there.
a role,
And right.
and
And stay
stay
there.
in that, and stay in
Mhm.
that. I think that you can interpret the scriptures in Bible and Torah and Quran in many different ways. I personally don't think that that is what was meant by what we read,
You're
but
right.
as human beings and men have interpreted it. They people white folks have interpreted to condone slavery,
Sure.
right?
Right.
Sure.
We can have a way of looking at healthier relationships
Sure.
that are based in not power and control over, but equity and
I'm sorry, Pat. Did you just throw the cat?
It's okay. They land on their feet. It's all
okay.
right.
Sorry,
So
Ovita.
Right.
Okay.
that's my
And,
platform.
and
That's
listen,
my
you have to come back because you just threw a whole lot at us just now.
Mhm.
Right? You threw a lot,
yeah.
and we have no problem being second generation or Caribbean to realize that there's a lot in the Caribbean, that we followed after your European culture, that we
That's
followed
100%.
after England and etc. And so we
100%.
bought
We
into those type of
colonized,
things.
colonizer,
That's right. That brings up
colonizer.
about
Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Dr. Joy Leary speaks about post-traumatic slave syndrome.
yes,
Right.
that's it.
That's a
That's it.
thing, so what we see now in many of our lives and families and is a direct impact of
Sure.
that history that is in us.
Right.
So
Right,
until we
right.
understand that and understand where,
And
then
learn. We have to
we
learn
keep
more about
repeating.
it.
Yeah, we keep
Hey, Doc,
repeating.
we usually have a
So
timekeeper on, and if that timekeeper was here, she would say it's 4:20. We
thank
know
you
that
all.
we know that you need to do whatever you need to do, but I'm going to say this: it is always a pleasure learning something, and I got to say this to my brothers right now. One of the reasons why I enjoy when we bring on guests is that I like leaving a little higher, and I like being challenged in my religiosity. I love being challenged in that,
Okay.
and I think today you have done that in such a great way. And that's why Pat said you got to come back. You have to come back, challenge us, make us think.
Yeah.
Help us to know the rule.
Have the
The rule. The rule.
conversation, right?
Yes, exactly.
Have the
So
conversation.
I say thank
Especially
you so
church.
much.
You
Thank you.
mentioned a lot about church, especially church. And I think that's a great thing. Listen, I know you got to go. It's 4:20. Please come on back and don't be a stranger. I know that
Yeah, we could waive this.
No.
All right, so we only have a minute. I know you got to go, but it's our normal question.
For every guest that comes on,
who's your favorite Graham?
Ooh.
She coughing.
You know what? Y'all are wrong with this. Well, I mean, it's the one I know the most. It's Gary.
Okay.
How many, how many do you each you have? But don't answer that now. We'll talk about it later.
You're right.
All
But
right.
we wanted to make sure Gary won at least one of them for the
Yeah.
day.
I always
but
win.
the twins now, they get into some trouble.
Well, let me just say this. Thank you, Ovita.
Yep.
Everybody, you see the Cash App. If you want the Social Lab and Ovita's work to move ahead in racial equality, domestic violence, the Action Lab, I put that in the chat. And if you want to donate some money, send us it and put it in the
make sure it's in the note.
Put in a note, Ovita Williams or the Action Lab, and we'll forward the money over to the Action Lab. All right.
Do you all have the link you sent to everyone?
Yes, I did. I did.
All right.
But any monies you get here, we'll forward to you.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh. Mwah, mwah.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Hold on. You did only 2 kisses.
That's for the twins.
Ovita, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you all. Bye. Have a great one. Great show.
Wow. Hey guys, it's always awesome. Our next guest, is I love to hear all month long, hearing the intricacies of how we got here, what happened here, so and so, whatever. But our next guest, man, when you check her books, when you hear her testimony, this man could have killed this girl. I'm sorry, this woman. I'm sorry, he's this girl.
Yeah. Well, first of all, one of the things that I do want to talk to her about is her ministry first.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to get
100%
ministry, because even though we're wrapping up, and when I say wrapping up, even though we're wrapping up domestic violence, which is something that's always going on, I wanted her, Paul, to be on the back end. I wanted the domestic to be on the back end of that, because her ministry is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
I don't want everybody, even though this is domestic violence and everyone should know what the story is all about to help themselves, I still want to hear her story. You know what I mean? And I know she likes you, Paul, and she knows she likes you.
I don't even ask her. I win, bro.
I know she likes you, Gary, but I'm going to try to get me a win today.
You're going to try to get it?
Matt, you need us to waive this, because we all have a special relationship with our
next guest. All right. We'll waive it for her this time around.
Don't put her on the spot.
Listen, I be getting texts to be like, yo, Brenda?
Yes.
And it's always Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda?
Yeah, Miss Brenda?
Like, I know Miss Brenda. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't know that we have gotten real close with her. And her ministry is worldwide.
Right.
And once in a while, if you call her, you're gonna get a drop of sunshine.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get off the conversation feeling better. So
listen, let's bring on Miss
let's bring her on. Let's bring her on.
Let's bring her on. Let's bring her on.
That's our sister right there.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, look what she got.
Oh, she got her OU shirt on.
She wins.
Shirt on.
She wins. She wins.
There's a rap song.
Yeah.
Now that's called "Understand the Assignment."
Yeah.
So it's the young people, they listen to this, so she understood the assignment. We didn't even ask her. Hey, Brenda.
Hi, how are you guys?
Yeah.
Doing fine.
As
Brenda, if you
soon
don't
as I
mind.
saw what you were all wearing, I was like, okay, I've got one too. I've actually spoken at Oakwood several times.
Yeah.
And when my very first book came out, Battered to Bless, and it was, it was such a painful, it's always a painful story to tell. But Oakwood had me come and share my testimony to everybody, and that place was packed. And afterwards, I stayed up literally praying with the students up to after 1 o'clock in the morning. They had me go to a certain location, a room where there was like a waiting room, people could wait, and then there was a room for us to have a private conversation. Right. And that line never stopped. They ended up having to say, okay, it's almost 2 o'clock, we're going to cut it, and all those people that have been waiting didn't get to come in. But I literally stayed there praying, and one after another, I was so blown away at the students that guys would sit down and just bawl. I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the place, and say, you know what? I hit my girlfriend today. I mean, I've been going with her for, a year. I saw my dad hit my mom. I never thought it was any big deal. I didn't know it was a problem. Wow. I heard that over and over again, but I've spoken at Oakwood quite a few times, and just a couple of years ago at your camp meeting at Oakwood, I was your keynote speaker for your prayer department.
I remember that.
Yes. Yeah. So I have a lot of good memories there, and just. So I'm proud and they gave this to me, but the last time I spoke there, along with my mug, so.
You're better than us. We had to pay for ours.
We had to pay for ours.
We had to pay for ours. Right?
So, and I think mine's a prettier color, no offense.
Hey, real quick, talk to us about this real quick. Talk to us about this ministry really quick. Your
Kids Club for Jesus Studio and Leadership Center. We're basically the Christian Netflix for kids. That's really, we have on-demand programs. We've now uploaded more than 1,300 Christ-centered programs that literally reach around the world. We have an international audience, and we are adding new programs every single day. We're adding new programs. Wow. And so it's amazing what God is doing, helping us grow. We are we have a Sabbath school for every single age group, and especially throughout this COVID situation where it's so needed. There's so many, and I have Miss Brenda's bedtime stories where I have, I've taken my books and read the stories, and then we put video in there to make the story come alive. Right. I can't tell you how many churches around the world are using those for their children's story at church, or in there. A lot of people are still having virtual church. They're rolling those in. So, it's meeting a need. We need to do more for our children. Exactly. I know God's called me to that. And it's interesting that God's called me not just to minister to children, but there's a ministry for adults. I speak at men's retreats. I speak at women's retreats. I speak at ministerial retreats. I remember speaking at my first ministerial retreat, and I'm thinking, why are they having me come and speak for ministers? I don't have any letters behind my name except for a registered nurse. Has nothing to do, And afterwards, one pastor pulled me aside and he says, I got to tell you, when I found out that you were going to be our speaker, I was just ticked off. We're having a woman. Like, what is she going to tell me?
That's right. There we go.
And he said, what is she going to tell me? Yep. And he said, I want you to know, he said, I cried through every presentation. He said, what you did for me was help me realize I really didn't have a relationship with the Lord. I was so busy trying to save everybody else, and I was so busy trying to work with everybody that I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. Yes. And he said, I want to thank you for helping me find that again this weekend. He said, I had actually been thinking about leaving the ministry because I realized I was bored, and it was because I really wasn't plugged into the Holy Spirit. So God has used me in so many different ways, in so many ages. My books are all for everything from the kids to the big kids, and I literally I feel truly blessed that God even allows me to work for Him. And I was sharing with my mom the other day, Mom, whenever God's through with me, whenever I can't be a blessing to somebody else anymore, I really truly pray He lays me to rest.
That's right.
Because that is what I live for, is to be a blessing. And that is really awesome. Every Sabbath at 5:30, I invite everybody to join me tomorrow at 5:30.
That's right.
If people join us from around the world, I'm at the piano. I have musical guests. I have a different musical guest every week. And even Dr. Lloyd Mallory was with me, you guys.
Yes, how did I miss that? How did I miss that?
Calvin Taylor's going to be one of my guests coming up. I mean, we have just amazing guests. Tomorrow is Paco Rodriguez from Atlanta. He's absolutely amazing. You won't want to miss him. It's his first time on, and I was so excited. I've been wanting him on the program for a long time, and he was visiting my neighbors behind me. And on my birthday, knocks on my back door and sings happy birthday to me.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, you're here.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, I was really just excited. So they're going to be every Sabbath at 5:30. Join me live.
Yep.
And I play your favorite songs. And
sometimes, hey, listen, let me tell you how I know, Gary, that I'm in. I would get a text that says, what do you want to hear today?
But you know what?
So you in, P.
Here's the truth. She's invited us several times.
Sure.
Well, all three of us can't sing,
right?
But Daddy can sing. So Brenda and I, we're talking about, how we used to have family worship together.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen because all of us, if we were in Huntsville,
you don't even have to sing. Daddy says you make a joyful noise.
Right. But so we want to transition to.
Wait, before you do that, G,
I'm sorry, Pat.
I want to walk through just a couple more ministries.
Okay, go ahead.
Before we get to that, there's also you have a podcast that's rolling.
Yes, and I want you guys to join me for a podcast.
Okay, sure.
We put a new one out every single Monday. Melissa Hoffman has been in ministry with me for over 13 years. She's my general manager of Kids Club for Jesus. She used to be my assistant for years, and now she's in the general manager role. And when you've been in ministry for so long with someone, we can almost finish each other's sentences. Right. And she is, she adds a different take because here I am, 4th generation Adventist. I've never known what it's like not to love Jesus. And then I have Melissa, who her parents were in a bar every night, and she went to school every day smelling like an ashtray. And so she comes from a whole different, she actually witnessed after she joined the church, she witnessed to her parents and brought them in the church. Wow, so you're going to see two different aspects and the podcast,
also, right? You're going to see one from one angle, from a 4th generation Adventist Christian, and then another angle from someone who just came in but on fire. Well, when I say just came in, different background.
And we take questions. Good. So if you guys have a question you want me to tackle, we take everybody's questions and put them on the podcast. We answer them, and then we're ending our first season is next week, and we're ending it we've been invited to go up to the Ark Encounter with the owner and builder Ken Ham is doing behind the scenes with us next week.
Kentucky? Is this Kentucky?
Yes. And awesome. He doesn't do this very often. He really impressed and blessed by our ministry, and he knows that we're really reaching hearts around the world, and he's got a heart for children. So he's giving us, and don't say this to anybody else that's mad at me for this, but he's not charging us. Wow. He's doing it. Yeah. So it's going to be such a blessing. And
what you smiling for, Gary?
Podcast. What?
Gary, why are you smiling, Gary? Why are you smiling, Gary?
Because Brenda's ministry is so wide and people don't know. Yeah. I mean, you do not know. Her fastball is over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, definitely.
And nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Well, join me every, you can go to my YouTube channel, Brenda Walsh Ministries. And some people don't know when you type Brenda Walsh Ministries into the search, when my picture comes up, you actually have to click the picture, and that comes up to my page.
Gotcha.
And you can hit playlist, you see everything. I even post my dad's sermons on there. They can watch my dad preach. But our podcasts are there, music is there, our cooking is there. I do, cooking for the kids. So
yes, the cooking. I've got
yes,
the
and so that all the recipes are there, and you can just. But we could keep you busy for a long time.
Good. As we, and you know where we are, I like to talk about your ministries. We also have Strength for Today.
Yes. Oh,
really quick.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I'm offering it. This is my latest devotional book. I've been posting a devotion on Facebook for over 13 years. I've never missed one day.
That's right.
And this is my second devotional book. I've got a special for Christmas from now till Christmas. You are getting instead of $17.99, you're getting it for $14.99, and I'm giving you one of my CDs. I have a solo CD out, and I'm giving you a free CD as well with that.
And you get that at Brenda Walsh.
And in the United States, it's free shipping.
Good. Oh, awesome. That's Brenda Walsh Books. Okay, look, we're going to make a quick transition. I know you started off in the very beginning. There were those that were we brought on our first guest, Ovita Williams, Dr. Ovita Williams, that was talking to us about her social work class, etc. And I think you heard a little bit of it if you were hearing in the background. But give us the cliff notes.
Well, I was really impressed with Dr. Davis. I could have listened to her. I want to know when she's done. I'm with you guys most every week anyway. If I can, I'm with you guys. Even if I'm getting my nails down in the salon, I've let everybody next to me listen to you. I said, hey, these are my brothers. I gotta listen to my brothers, And my nail salon, I've been there several times when we're on. Let's make it this time. I want to hear the snack time, the snackers.
Yeah.
And but yes, I watch you guys all the time, and I'm glad that you're going to have her on again because she speaks so much truth. She knows what she's talking about, and I especially like the part that there's a lot of women that are emotionally abused, and they don't think they're abused because they weren't physically attacked.
Right.
And emotional abuse is every bit as painful as physical abuse. Of course, if you're physically abused, they go hand in hand. They're both together. Right. There's some different. One thing I have, since my book came out in 2005, I literally have spoken to thousands of women around the world. I've traveled the world. I spoke to 7,000 women and men in South Africa, where there was 3 queens from 3 different countries that came and filled up the whole front row in their entourage and cried like a baby through the testimony. And it doesn't matter where I go. One thing I know is that because I've heard so many stories, everybody's story is different. Right. There's things that you can relate to them, but everybody's story is different. In my case, there was no going to the law because I was married to the law. I was, for those of you who don't know, I was a battered wife in my first marriage. My ex-husband was an FBI detective, undercover narcotics. And there was no saving me. There was nowhere to run. I had seen so much abuse. I had seen so much. I knew that he could kill me and get away with it and literally not ever do time. I have seen them beat someone so badly and leave him on the side of the road, plant drugs on him, and 6 cop cars go flying up. The poor guy didn't do anything, except for the color of his skin wasn't what they liked, and so they drug him away. And I had no idea. And that guy probably sat in jail for a very long time if he ever came out, because he probably his case probably didn't even come up because they just keep burying it. I saw the fraud. I saw the drug bust, and I'd see in my house a lot of that, what they were busting. They were literally, it was in our house for a long time, and they were slowly disappearing it because they were selling it.
Wow.
I mean, I saw that kind of abuse, but for me, it wasn't the typical story. You won't probably find another story like mine because I was raised in such a Christ-centered home and very sheltered. I didn't even go into high school. I mean, I have academy. I only had Christian schools, and I never even enjoyed a tender kiss with a boy before. I didn't have, if a guy tried to hold my hand, I wouldn't date him again. You know, I was a good girl. I wasn't going to be one of those girls, you know.
I hear you. I hear you.
But you know what? Pride, even about a good thing, will separate you from Jesus. I was so proud of myself because I was a good girl. I didn't sleep around. I knew girls in there that did, and would sneak their boys in and out of the dorm and stuff. But I thought I was better than that. You know, I was a good girl, and I was determined to save myself for my husband. So when I was had just finished my first year of nursing school at Southern Missionary College, which is now Southern Adventist University here where I live right now, I had 1 year of nursing school, and I had been asked to compete. I was staying with my sister in Kentucky. I've been asked to compete in a beauty pageant for Miss Kentucky.
I saw that picture.
Yeah. And you know, I thought that would be so awesome. I mean, it was flattering. Of course it was flattering. Everybody thinks that you could be even slightly good enough to be in a beauty pageant. And my parents pleaded with me, begged me, pleaded not to. Daddy kept saying, Brenda, God is not going to be proud of you parading down a runway in your bathing suit, you know, for all the guys to gawk at. And I just thought I knew more than my parents. I thought, you know, they're old fashioned. They don't know how it is.
Yes.
And I chose to go anyway. They didn't come. Everybody else had their whole entourage of people. I didn't because I did that. But at that pageant was my ex-husband. And for extra money, they do security detail at these big state events, a lot of extra money. And when he saw me coming down there, he said,
that's the one.
He told his friends, he said, I'm taking her out. And they laughed at him and said, oh no, she wouldn't go out with you. $20 says that I'll not only date her, I'll marry her.
Wow.
And I was a $20 bet. And what I was so naive that, and of course it's in my book, Battered to Blessed, but you know, it was a point where he made me believe that we had been together, and I was so innocent, didn't even know what happened in a bedroom, that I didn't even know if that took place. Right. And I ended up marrying a man because I thought that we had been intimate. I didn't even know. He said we were, and I'd woke up naked in his bed. So I didn't know any different. And you can imagine how horrified I was. And because I was of that pride, I thought, well, if in God's eyes we're married, I have to marry him now. And if I have to be married, then why does anybody have to know what a horrible person I am? You know?
Wow.
And so I went along with, he says, well, I'll marry you. You know, he'd already planned to do that. That was his whole trick. And so I married a man I didn't know, didn't love. And the abuse started like literally right away. And in my book, I tell you a little bit about the battered and a whole lot about the blessed. So the bad stuff's not in the book. The bad stuff is not in the book. But
wow, that's good. I hear you.
I'm fortunate to be alive. My front teeth are not mine. They were buried in my bottom lip. I've had probably most of my ribs broken. I never knew I didn't have one moment that wasn't rape in an intimate situation with him. And he could not be satisfied unless I was screaming in pain. So if I tried to fake it quick just to help it get it over with faster, it was far worse because it wasn't the real thing. I can remember I was never good enough to sleep in a bed. So when he was done with me, I was thrown out on the floor naked, without a pillow, without a blanket, because I wasn't good enough to stay in a bed. And one night I saw him snoring, and I thought I could see the door of the bedroom was open. I could see my mom's Afghan on the couch, and it was like, you know, water in a desert, you know, you just had to have. And I was just shaking and so cold. And I thought, if I just could be warm just for a few minutes. And I started sneaking up, slowly crawling to where the couch was. And I'd been beat so bad that I couldn't have walked anyway. And I was waiting. I'd wait till the snore came, and then I'd crawl a little more. Wait till the snore came and crawl. And I was almost to that blanket when all of a sudden, pulling my hair back by my head, throwing me across the room, and beat me so bad. I never once went after the blanket ever again because I knew that I would lose my life. When I was 8 months pregnant, he kicked me down a flight of steps. He wanted me to lose the baby. And I was in the hospital for a while with that. I also found out at 8 months that he had another woman pregnant that called me and wanted me to give my my husband up because she was pregnant, you know, and then I had the decision to make. Do I tell him and get beat, or do I not tell him and he finds out and I get beat worse? I mean, so I decided to tell him, and I almost lost my life that night. And most people want to know, like, how did you leave, you know? And you know, I had a baby with him, by the way. I found out on my wedding night, after it was so horrific. On my wedding night, I found out that I had been a virgin all along. And I remember, you know, being in the bathroom and I'm just covered in blood. And I said, why did you
just tell me?
Yeah. Why did you? And he said, because now you blankety blank, 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 blank. He said, you are my blank, and I can do any blank what I want to you when I want to, because now you're my wife. He said, you think I would risk my badge for you? You're not worth. I mean, literally, when you every single day was telling me I wasn't worth it, I couldn't look in a mirror and not feel like I felt sorry for anybody had to look at me, you know, because that's the way they made me feel. And I know God saved me. The night before I left, and I never knew, because he was on undercover narcotics, how long he was going to be gone.
Right.
And so he would come home and at it maybe he'd be gone 3 weeks and then come home 3 a.m. I mean, you just never knew. When my baby was born, I thought for sure that maybe because he acted so like the loving father in the hospital, he sounded like he was just going to be this. I'm thinking, okay, well, he fooled me, because I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe a baby is going to, you know, maybe the baby
change him. Yeah.
Maybe it's going to change him.
Yeah.
But he, you know, one thing about an abuser is that they separate you from any support. They separate you from anybody that could possibly help you. And when my sister lived next door to me, and when one day in the hospital and he was taking me home, and back then they kept you 3 or 4 days, not anymore, but back then they did.
Now they send you right home right after.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I, when we got to the driveway, he told me to go get out of the car, and the blankety blank, get out of the car, go to your sister's house, when you can be a wife to me. And it was the first time I'd slept in a bed since I'd met him, since our marriage, you know, and to sleep in a real bed. And it was the first time I really slept with, you know, both eyes closed, really. But when she was just 4 days old, I heard him pound on the door saying, hey, I come to get my wife. And I just froze, because I knew what was happening. And I don't know, the ladies out there, you men probably won't understand this, but any ladies listening would know how horrible it would be to be raped when you're just 4 days after giving birth and ripping all your stitches out, and the pain was so unbearable. I literally just passed out over and over again, and that'd make him mad when I passed out because I wasn't screaming. And you know, I tell you, I know when people say to me, you know, I don't know if Jesus loves me or not. I know Jesus loves me.
Wow.
You know, the most powerful prayer you could ever pray is just 3 words: Jesus, save me. And when I prayed that prayer, he did. You know, I'll never forget the look in the emergency room of the doctor looking down at my face, you know, and I'm bleeding out. They're literally putting, you know, giving me blood, because I'm a bleeder anyway. So they're literally have blood coming in my both arms, my legs. They did cut down my legs trying to and they're squeezing just plasma in me at this point because I'm bleeding out. And the doctor looked in my face and he was crying. And he said, look, we have help for you. He said, we can help you. And I said, you know, look, I just fell. I need help. He goes, you didn't fall. You were raped. And it was the first time that I had ever considered that I was married, that could happen. I didn't realize. So when Dr. Davis talked about, you know, marital rape, I almost started crying right then because I never knew. I thought I married for better, for worse. This is what I got. I didn't deserve anything better. This is, you know, I didn't know better. And I'm so thankful that there is a Dr. Davis out there that educates, and that I'm so thankful for you guys to bring this out, because I can't be the only one that doesn't know, you know?
Yeah.
And I thank God for his love, for his goodness. People don't know when the pain that has ever been behind a smile. When I go, remember, boys and girls, it's time to share Jesus. And
because it's bothering me right now. It's bothering me right now just to even hear you say it, because there is a mask. There is something there's Brenda went through this. Miss Brenda went through all of that, and we could even hear it in your voice. Those who are even on the chat, that's kind of saying, "Wow, have mercy, my God." You're playing out a movie, and we're actually sitting there saying this actually happened to a real person, and people are online that's saying, "Yeah, I was there. I've been there." And I don't know what. I think somebody asked in there, how did you leave?
How did I leave? And that's a question that a lot of people want to know. And I'm going to tell you Jesus, because it was a night where they came in. He came in at the early hours in the morning and grabbed me off the floor, and I drugged me out into the living room, and there's 3 men out there, and he'd been bragging to them about what I was going to do to make them happy, without being intimately detailed here. And he just shoved me at them and said, "Which one of you want her first?" And I literally, as the first one was getting ready to grab me, I literally ran to the hall bathroom. There was a half bath right there, and I slammed that door so fast. And I locked it seconds before he got there. And he is angry. And he is pounding on that door. He's calling me every name in the book. You blankety blank, blank, blank. You get the blank out here. And I couldn't go out there. And then I heard it quiet for a few minutes, and all of a sudden I heard the sound of my baby crying on the other side of that door. 3 months old. He'd gone and got her out of her crib, and he said, he said, "You'll come out now, you blankety blank. You want to come, your baby, you better come out here and get your," and I had to open that door. And he was almost 6'5". I'm 5'2", and I literally was jumping, and he had her high above his head, and he was like a football, and I'm jumping, trying to reach her and grab for her. And he said, "You want your blankety blank kid? I'll give you your blankety blank kid." And with great big strides, he went to her nursery door, stops at the entrance of her door, and took her and threw her across the room into her crib like a baseball, like a basketball, and I went tearing off after her to get her, and he grabbed me by my hair, and he threw me against the wall, and he beat me, and he beat me, and he beat me. He kicked me with his boots over and over in my stomach. I've had 5 surgeries I've suffered today because of just the beating I took that night. And all 3 of those other police officers watched. I pleaded. I looked up into the room and I begged them to help me, pleaded for them to help me, please. And they did nothing but watch. They did not stop until I wasn't screaming anymore, because I could no longer even know where I hurt worse. And I was just whimpering, and they were afraid I was going to die. And they didn't want to be a part of a murder. And that's when they pulled him off of me, but not before he kicked me one more time. And they left, and I waited till I heard the back door. I waited till I heard the wheels of the car, squealing down the street. And I tried to get up, but I couldn't walk. My teeth were buried in my bottom lip. My eyes were so swollen that I could only see through little slits in my eyes. And I pulled myself, crawled to the crib, and I could know she was still alive because I could hear her whimpering. She was just going, she wasn't crying anymore. She was just going, that's all she could do. And I have broken ribs, so I could hardly breathe myself to take it. I don't know if you've ever had a broken rib, but you can't, when you expand your rib cage to breathe, the pain will make you pass out. And I'm trying not to pass out because my baby needs me. And I'm going to her crib, and slowly I'm pulling myself up on the rails of her crib. With my broken ribs, I had to lay on that railing to reach her foot to where I could drag her to me. And then I picked her up, and I almost passed out. I used the back of the wall to slide down. And I'm looking at her and I'm holding her and I can see blood all over her. I didn't know at that moment it was my blood. That her angels flew with her through the air because God saved her. I don't know how long I sat there, but you know what? There's a reason that we're supposed to put God's word in our heart. Every single Sabbath, I learned my memory verse. And 13 Sabbath, I was up in front of the adults saying my memory verse, all 13 of them. And I can tell you there's a reason. We aren't always going to have our Bible with us. And I don't know how long it took, but I know that sitting on that floor, I was reciting one verse after another. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me to lie down in green pastures. You know, one verse after another just kept flooding my mind. And I don't know how long I sat there, but all of a sudden, I literally realized that when he comes back, I am going to die. And I started pleading with God to take us both, to please, Lord, don't let this baby be alone in this world with this monster when I can't help her. And so I started pleading that with God and praying and begging him to take our lives. And then I heard the back door open, and because I've the injuries to my head, the sound was just magnified, and every single footstep sounded like, you know, it was this big huge giant walking through the house. And I looked up in the doorway, and it was my sister Linda. And she looked at me in the bloody mess and she said, "That's it. You are not taking this anymore. You are not taking this anymore." And she went and called my mom and dad, and she called her husband to help me and get me to the car. They raced me to the airport. They knew they had to get me out of there before he came back. And do you know, when I got off that plane, my sister went on the plane with me. Back in those days, you could. She told the flight attendant, "Please, would you make sure she gets off in Dallas, Texas?" My dad was pastoring 4 churches there. And he said, "This is what my picture of my parents. Please make sure she gets off." And I was covered in blood. I looked horrible, and she had changed me before we went there, but I was still bleeding. And when I got off that plane, my mom and dad were there, and it was the first time I saw my daddy cry. You know, mom ran to me. She got Becky because I was about ready to drop her because I couldn't hold her against my ribs anymore. And my dad went to put his arm around me, and I screamed. I think the whole airport heard me because of the pain. And I got to tell you, my father passed away 2 years ago, but to the day he died, and to this day, my mother, not once ever did either of them ever say to me, "I told you so." They just loved me. They just loved me. And I thank Jesus for saving my life. I owe him everything. I want to spend my whole life serving him.
Wow.
I want to spend my whole life pleasing him. And there's not enough words to tell you how much I love him.
You know, Brenda, I got to tell you, I've got to tell you that it's sobering to hear the concept of abuse, but it is blood shirking to hear the experience of abuse.
Yep.
I'm looking at one of our baby girls named Melissa online. You know, she has her own story. There are different individuals who have their own story. Yvetta has her own story. There are people who have read your book and have gone through what they've gone through. I'm reading right through here, and the question is, how do you go to heaven? Because I would still be in perpetual hate. You know, you know, that's the only thing that I can think of, that I will still be in perpetual hate. But God had people around you. I saw my cousin Owen Brissett say, "Thank God for good family."
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't recognize how much even more your family was good to not put it in your face.
Not ever. Not
Empathy.
ever.
There goes that empathy again.
Do you know, the one reason that I even give my testimony is because people need to know that the only way to move on is to forgive. You know, you've got to forgive, forget, and move on with Jesus. I can tell you that I have no hatred in my heart for my ex. I want to see him in heaven. And I can only do that because of God's love. When I was with my parents for quite a few months, I don't know what I would have done without that support of mom and dad, because when I was having nightmares every night, and I couldn't stop the nightmares. And I would, everyone was so realistic, there were times that I was dreaming the things that had really happened, where I had been put up to a police, target shoot place and made to stand there, and he shot all around me, until I just begged him to just shoot me. And I'd wake up and he was shooting me, he was choking me, or he was forcing himself in my mouth and I'm gagging on my own vomit. And Lily, I think I'm going to die. And one night after another, it was so realistic. It'd wake up the whole house. I would be screaming. I'd be drenched in sweat. And my dad would come running in and he'd check the house. My mom would be holding me, and then Daddy would pray with me and hold me until we calmed down. One night, my dad said, I woke up the whole house. I'm drenched wet. Daddy came in and he said, Mom, go get the Bible. And he said, tonight we are going to rebuke the devil. Do you hear me? We're going to rebuke the devil. Daddy gave me his Bible before he died. This is my daddy's Bible. This is the Bible that he took, and for an hour, clean Bible promises that God would take those nightmares away. To this day, I've never had another nightmare. Not ever. Not one time. That's what godly parents will do. And I finally came to a point and I said, Daddy, I want you to know I need you to know I'm not going to heaven. And he said, what do you mean? I said, Daddy, I can't stop hating him. I can't stop hating him. I think about the time I'm locked in a closet for 3 days in my own excrement. Don't know if anybody's ever going to come and get me again. I'm 8 months pregnant. I don't even feel my feet anymore. I want that man to burn in hell forever. I'm like, how do I get past that? Daddy, I'm not going to be in heaven. I can't forgive. And my dad said something that shocked me. He came to me, he just hugged me and kept on hugging me. And he said, honey, of course you can't forgive. And I went, what? And I looked and I pushed away from him and I said, what do you mean? He said, it's impossible to forgive that monster. He said, of course you can't forgive. And I'm like, my dad's a pastor. He's telling me it's okay that I don't forgive.
Right.
Like, oh, how is that possible?
Yeah.
And he said, honey, he said, for anybody that has hurt you so much, it's not humanly possible to forgive.
Right.
What you do, you pray and ask God to give you his love in your heart and his forgiveness, and you can forgive him with God's love, and you can, and God's forgiveness. He said, you can't do that on your own. And that clicked with me. It was something that, wow, the light bulb went on. Yes, I could have, my pain was validated. I couldn't forgive him myself, but I could do it with God's love. And that's the message I want to give every single place I speak. When I speak to domestic violence for cities, I've been their keynote speaker for Domestic Violence Week, and that's the message I want them to know, is that no, it's not possible. Validate their love, their pain, but let them know that God can give them that love. God can give them that forgiveness. And it's the only way. Jesus is the only healer of hearts, period. And by the way, when I was finally well enough to say, Daddy, I think I need to get a divorce, he said, come here, baby. And he gave me a hug. He said, you've been divorced for 3 months. I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, I don't remember signing anything. I'm pretty sure I had probably really close to a nervous breakdown, if not one. But he said, I told him if he ever came near to you ever again, he better not ever call you. He better never contact you. He better never come in the same town with you. He says, because if he does, God will not hold me accountable for what I'll do to you.
That's daddy. That's a daddy. That's all I got to say. That's a daddy.
And you know what? I know God knew a daddy's heart, Paul. He knew a daddy's heart. And I got to tell you, that it was a slow climb back, but it was a whole lot of love. And the church, Daddy's church family, welcomed me. They didn't judge me either. Here I am with the little baby, and I'm up playing the organ because I'm the only one in the church that can play or play the organ or piano. And those people are passing my baby back and forth from pew to pew to pew. They're all my babysitters, you know. Hey. And I just have so much to thank Jesus for. And I thank you guys for making people aware that this exists. Nobody wants to talk about this, especially in our church. And yet it is in our church. It is 1 in every 3 women have been abused in some way. I mean, that's huge. That's staggering. We have to do something. I love End It Now.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
That's right. Yes. I'm grateful that the church did something about that.
Yes.
Brenda, everybody could have listened to this, as heart-wrenching as it is. Everybody could have listened to this longer. Gary and Paul, I wish we had her on a little bit earlier.
A little longer. Oh my goodness.
All our joking around and all of that. But I have to say, what a great way to top it off, because I think that you told a story that made it real. It's not just a month, but it's a life. And the trauma is still real. I'm not saying that there's no healing that you haven't been through, but the trauma, just to hear the story. I think what's the way we should end this conversation. I just wish we had another week with this, but the way we end this conversation is definitely to pray. And I'm not going to even say pray for you, Brenda. I think that God is calling you to pray for somebody else. I feel that in my spirit that you coming with your story. I think we're saying, oh, we need to pray for you. No, this happened years ago. You're still living through what you're going through. But I think that there's somebody listening I'm asking you to pray for. And I think, guys, that'll be an excellent.
I wouldn't be able to tell my story if God had not healed my heart. There's no way.
Right. I want to be clear about this, Pat. There's some people on here that I know personally that I cannot say that needed this, and that can. So for your prayer, wow, Harold Chandler, I was not ready. Wow.
Thank you for opening my eyes.
Wow. So Miss Brenda, if you could, I know the Holy Spirit would lead you to pray for who you need to pray for. And Pat, I mean, I'm just dying to hear her. I've been here listening to Aeolians practice for the past hour and a half. If you can close off with an Aeolian song after this prayer, I would be deeply touched by this. It's one thing to be a friend. It's another thing to know what has happened to a friend and not through books. And I'm proud of your steps and the steps that you're still taking, but helping other people in their steps. Absolutely awesome. Pat, I'm going to keep watching, but I'm going to pan out.
Sure. I what I'm going to do now, everybody, is that Brenda, if
there she goes. I'm going to say it. There she goes. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I hear you. If you pray for those who are on, and that they may be as brave as you became, because there's somebody needs to hear a prayer. If you would go ahead and do that for us. Absolutely. As we come to the close of our show. I don't want us to end down. Right. Because you keep saying
end up.
You keep saying that, it's God that brought you through, it's Jesus that brought you through. And even if it's not, as those of us have not gone through what you have gone through in that type of trauma, there's still trauma out there that someone is going through. And can you just pray, introducing us to your God?
Absolutely.
You pray, introducing us to the love that he has and the forgiveness that he has. Absolutely. So that we can forgive others. Will you do that for us?
Absolutely. And unless you're driving in a car, why don't you bow your heads with me in prayer? I actually had closed my eyes once in a car. So I have to tell you that, so just let's bow our heads.
We don't have to do that. Yeah. Go ahead now, please.
Precious Heavenly Father, Lord, what an awesome God you are. Thank you so much for your love, your grace, your mercy, Lord. Even we screw up and we get it all wrong, Lord, you still love us. You are still there for us. You don't just abandon us. Lord, you have promised that you will never leave us or forsake us. And Lord, you are a God of your word. That's a promise that we can claim for our own. Lord, I ask that you would be with each one that is viewing this program and will view it afterwards, Lord, no matter when that will be. Lord, there's people viewing right now, Lord, that are in pain. Maybe they have been physically abused. Maybe it's emotional abuse. Maybe they have been wronged in some way and they're just struggling with forgiveness. Lord, I ask that you would be with each one. Lord, you are the only healer of hearts. And so I ask, Lord, that you would come into their heart and their life. And Lord, even the ones that are resisting and because of the pain, they can't even trust you yet. Lord, I'm going to pray that intercessory prayer that you will just enter their hearts, Lord. Keep pounding on their hearts door until they let you in. Because only you, Lord, in our hearts will ever give us the peace and the happiness that we need. Lord, you want us to have life more abundantly. It's not your plan for any one of us, Lord, to be abused in any way. Lord, you want each of us to have an abundant life. Lord, I ask that you would be with each one of us, every single person watching right now, Lord, that you would just come into their life, Lord. Let them feel your presence. Be so close to them, Lord, that they can hear your heartbeat. And may they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are a loving God. You aren't up there, with your, I told you so. I told you not to do it. And now you're going to pay, Lord. That is not the God you are. Show them who you are, Lord, and give them the trust that they need, because sometimes, Lord, you're so beaten down. You don't know how to pray. So, Lord, come extra close, Lord, to those brokenhearted. I pray, Lord, someday soon, when you come in those clouds of glory, every single one of us, Lord, will be there. Lord, I can't wait to see each one, and that we will have that rejoicing together. We can't wait for you to hear those words, Lord. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Welcome home. Lord, we know that it is your will and your plan for all of us to be in the kingdom with you, because you love each one of us so much you can't imagine heaven without us. And Lord, you love us so much that you do desire to be Lord of our life, and that you will take every burden, every pain, every heartache, Lord, and you will take all the ugliness from our life and turn it into something beautiful for you. And we give you all praise, honor, and glory. In your precious holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank
I
you
just
so
want to
much.
say something quick to your viewers right now. I want you to know that there is life after pain. There is life after pain. That Jesus is the answer. That I didn't get my smile, from the devil. God gives me my smile. And my daddy always says, if you love Jesus, notify your face. And so I want to leave each one of you telling today, hey, it's your time to share Jesus.
So let me,
Beautiful.
Pat, can I say this?
Go ahead, G.
Yeah, Brenda, thank you so much. If you want to support Brenda's ministry, and you put it in our Cash App, and you put Brenda, anything with Brenda, anything with her books. Pat, let's put the book in the chat for her.
Sure will.
Pat and I will say this. You don't know how much we love you.
Yeah, we do.
And feelings mutual.
Right. When I call, Brenda's picking up the phone while she's driving. That's like how I call you. You pick up the phone. Brenda picks up the phone.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know, she's the real deal. She loves the Lord, and she has even inspired me. That's why she's so blessed in her ministry. She's consistent. She's not here to make a buck off of God. She's here to tell you the truth, what's happening. So I just want all of our audience, do one thing. We have crossed over. You know how they have those episodes where they cross over on NCIS or Chicago Fire or whatever, or St. Elsa. We have done that. Share this testimony with your friends. This is probably the most awesome show that we've had. And we want to get up there to let everybody know that forgiveness is real.
Yep.
We all got angry today, and we want to know that we want to be better. And Brenda, just thank you so much. I can't tell you how much we love you.
I love you guys too, and thank you so much.
And I gotta say this, man. If you love Jesus, notify your face. That is it right there. I love it. Brenda, we'll talk in the back, and thank you so much for hanging with us. I appreciate that. Wow. Gee, we got to roll out of here.
Yeah,
And,
man. I literally have one of my patients waiting on the other side.
That's fine. We got to go now, and it's fine.
But
But we needed to hear from Brenda today, and it was
she's
good.
that real.
It was good.
She's that real.
It was good. It was good. All right. So just let everybody know one more time. If you are, I just want you to know you can give the Graham Snacks, but if you put Brenda's name in it, or if you put our last Ovita's name in it, of course, because it will go directly to them. But if you want to support us, just go ahead. I don't care if it's $1, $2, $5. Doesn't make a difference. We came together. We want to be as professional as we can be. And then when some of our guests comes on, we want to thank them. We have never gifted any of our guests to come on, Eric Thomas, none of them. And we just want to be a blessing to them also. All right. So I just want to thank God for what we have heard. And I want everybody to have a blessed Sabbath. I know Paul's at Oakwood. Gary, where will you be tomorrow?
Have everybody tune into Mental Health Manna.
That's right,
7 a.m. in the morning. And our boy Gibson is going to be on there tomorrow morning. So awesome. That's where we are. Yeah.
Awesome. I will be home.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Big shout out to mom and dad.
Hey, mom and dad. All right, everybody, gone. Right. And remember, everybody, please press the share. Share this with 5 people.
Yeah.
And don't forget to leave something at Graham Snacks for us. All right. God bless you, everybody. Real good. Peace.